John Russell here at the Piano Outlet. Thank you for contacting me today and not forcing me to message, because obviously when you're messaging, I can't do all of this, which is really the only way that you should consider buying a piano, because it's a big investment. You need to see and know as much as possible, especially with the distance involved. You can't just walk into my place here, but I could do the next best thing. So what I did was I pulled the action out of this piano. And the action is very, very important. And a lot of people, when they go shopping for a piano, it's the one thing they don't look at. It's like if you were gonna buy a car and you didn't look under the hood, you know? I mean, it's amazing how many people will buy a piano and not look at the action, okay? What is the action? This is the action. And the reason why it's called the action is because this is where all the action happens when you're playing the piano. You play the key, the hammer jumps up, it hits the string. It's a little different, obviously, with this piano. This is a silent series piano, and with the Yamaha silent series, basically what happens is when you activate the silent system, the first thing that happens is, and incidentally, this is the lever here, okay? And if you notice in here, there's a bar over here, it goes across, okay? So when you activate the silent system, it goes down. You see that? Hit it again, it goes up. Hit it again, it goes down. And if you notice, there's a black piece of rubber under here. So what happens is that when the hammer comes up, it's blocked from hitting the string. And that's what makes the piano silent. So when you're playing the piano, you're gonna hear a lot of the ticka, 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 all this noise, but it's a lot more quiet than if you were playing it. So that's what makes the piano silent, because it stops the hammers from hitting the strings, okay? So now over here, the next thing that we have is the sensors, okay? Yamaha silent series pianos have two sets of sensors. They have the key sensors, which are under here. You can barely see it. And when the note goes down, it transmits the three parameters of MIDI. Three parameters of MIDI are note on, note off, duration. Note on, note off is basically at what time do you press the note down within a given specified time, like within a measure or what have you. Then how hard you hit it. Harder you hit a note, the faster is you're hitting it. Believe it or not, when you make a note play harder or sound louder, it's only that you hit it faster. Because if you play the note slowly, then that's going to be a very soft touch. If you play it fast, it's going to be louder. And so that's what transmits that computer information to the CPU, which makes the sound of this particular note, let's say this C down here in the bass, play off of a sound module, which is sampled 9-foot concert grand. So getting back to the three parameters of the MIDI, you have note on, note off, duration, okay? That's how long you hold it down, and velocity sensitivity, which is how fast you strike the note, okay? So over here, you have hammer sensors, okay? In here, in this little place where you see all these little squares, there's a beam of light that goes all the way across, okay? And when this hammer interrupts that beam of light, that's another signal that goes to the computer in the piano and tells it, this is what I'm doing, and that's what makes the sound come through your headphones and makes it sound like it's supposed to sound, which is a sampled 9-foot concert grand. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take this action, I'm gonna throw it back in the piano, and I'm gonna play it for you so you can kind of get an idea of what it sounds like. You know, it's kind of a little bit irritating for me sometimes, because when you record a piano into a cell phone, you really can't tell the difference between this piano and, let's say, a much larger one. Because through a cell phone, they really all sound pretty much the same, but they're all gonna sound good. Let's slide this in. All right, nice and easy. Got to make sure that that bar is in the up position, because you don't want it hitting the hammers. Slide it in. Very, very simple. And then there's a little connector here. We're gonna connect back up. If I can see it. Hello. All right, there it goes. All right, next thing we're gonna do is gonna put the piano back together. Okay, so I'm gonna put the key slip back in here. key blocks. One goes here, one goes here. Okay. 2 screws. All right. There's my screw gun. Cameraman is my son. He just gave me the screwdriver. There we go. Okay, next thing is going to be, I'm not going to put it there. Keyboard cover, and the camera's going around the piano now. You can see how clean it is inside. All the hardware. Basically, we've been through everything. We actually did put a new set of strings in this piano, so everything is new in here. New graphite on the bridges. We cleaned and detailed all the hardware in here, so it's bright and shiny. What happens, these pianos, or really anything that has metal in it that's sitting in a home for, you know, extended period of time, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, the metal gets oxidized. It's not shiny anymore. And really, a lot of people want a piano to look beautiful. I mean, it really doesn't matter if the metal is oxidized, but it's not going to look as nice. And, you know, frankly, if you have this piano in your house, it's nice to have it look beautiful as well as sound great. Can we get a piano bench? There we go. Idea what it sounds like. As far as the piano is physically, there isn't a scratch on it. Mainly that's because, and they don't come in that way. All these pianos do, they come out of people's homes. There's gonna be little scratches on them. But you have to remember that this finish on these Yamahas is about 2 millimeters thick. It's a polyester resin. So scratches easily come out. I mean, even if they're bad scratches, you wet sand them, you polish them, and we take everything off the piano to do that. Like for instance, this comes off, the hinge comes off, and when the hinge comes off, it gets polished on the machine. If we need any extra parts, we're an authorized Yamaha service center. I have a portal that I go into from the Yamaha factory, and every single part of this piano is like a car, like a BMW, in that it has a part number. So if I need the littlest, tiniest screw, I order a bunch of them and they're a part number. But we do certain things like that nobody else does. For instance, this hinge here we put on, this is brand new because a lot of times, you know, the brass gets dingy looking and you can polish it, but what happens is that if you polish it, it turns dark again because there's a coating from the factory on this. So we put your brand new hinge, we clean everything inside, everything is like new in the piano. When the piano goes out, we don't clean up these old wheels, we put brand new ones on, so you get brand new wheels. As a matter of fact, I'll take you over to our parts department over here and show you everything that we do from the factory. Oh! See, these are the parts you see, these are casters. These are the casters this is a caster that's going to go on your piano, a brand new one, right out of the box, because we don't put the old ones on. All these parts here, you see, has a Yamaha part number. This is a hinge, screws, everything that you see, that if we need any type of part, comes from the factory and has its own part number. Anyway, I think that pretty much covers it. If you need any more information, you know how to reach me. You can call me, text me, whatever. But I hope this does it for you and clears it up, and hope you like the piano.